Australians aren't turning to One Nation because they've been fooled. They're angry. They're angry because for years, Labor, the Liberals, the Greens and the Nationals have failed on the issues that matter most. Immigration, housing, crime, cost of living, energy, national identity, social cohesion and public safety. They're angry because governments opened the doors, drove record population growth, put pressure on housing, infrastructure, and most of all, social cohesion. Then sneered at ordinary Australians who asked whether this was sustainable. And now, after the rise of anti-Semitism on our streets, the intimidation of Jewish students, the targeting of synagogues and businesses, and the weakness of the political class, more Australians are asking, who will actually stand up for this country? One Nation's answer is simple. Immigration must serve the national interest. Borders must be secure. Anti-Semitism, extremism, imported hatred, and political violence must be confronted, not excused. Australians are generous, but generosity is not surrender. And compassion doesn't mean ignoring threats to our own people. The major parties created this anger because they refuse to listen. They're angry because they want their country back. Recently, Anthony Albanese put out a call to its Labor members to donate $27 toward a campaign to fight One Nation, which it sees as a threat. In response, Pauline Hanson also put out a call to the nation to donate a similar amount to fire the liar. In just over 24 hours, they have accrued $2.2 million and rising. This is not just political jousting. This is a litmus test for the nation to check the acidity in the water. The two major parties have no longer become relevant to the average Aussie, and instead One Nation has become the champion or the voice for the average Aussie battler. For 30 years, the Canberra establishment did everything it could to keep Pauline Hanson out of the National Press Club. This week, they finally had to give her a microphone, and she didn't waste a second. While activists unfurled banners and the media searched for gotcha moments, Pauline stood her ground and delivered a powerful vision for Australia's future. She took aim at gender ideology in our institutions, warned about the dangers of Islamic fundamentalism, exposed the madness of net zero, and called for an Australia united by one people, one flag and one language. The protesters wanted to derail her. They failed. The journalists wanted a spectacle. Instead, they got policy. As Rita Panahi observed, this wasn't a leader worried about offending the political or media class. It was a leader prepared to challenge them. Pauline Hanson says what millions of Australians are thinking, but too few politicians are willing to say. That's why the establishment fears her, and that's why Australians are listening. Right now, in the New South Wales Parliament, they are debating a bill about parental rights. A bill that seeks to enshrine transparency, consultation with parents, and the basic rights of mums and dads in education. And the fact that this even needs to be said shows just how far we have gone in the wrong direction. Schools were meant to teach knowledge, skills, discipline, and academic excellence, not replace the role of parents. Parents are there every day. They carry the emotional, financial, and moral responsibility when things go wrong. This bill says schools must be open with families. Parents must know what is being taught, and they must have a real say. Moral values, identity, politics, and belief belong first to parents, not bureaucrats, unions, or activists. It's time to restore trust, defend families, and put parents back at the centre of education. Recently, the Labor government brought about its budget for 2026. Among some of the most breathtaking changes were the ones made to capital gains tax and the abolition of negative gearing. both of which Albanese and his ministers have made considerable gains from in the past, only to pull the ladder up for those following behind. Well, today we hear that before these tax credits and capital gains changes, Anthony Albanese sold around $5 million worth of investment property, avoiding the tax changes that he has brought in. Furthermore, Claire O'Neil, the housing minister, sold her $1.3 million investment property just prior to the tax changes also. Their profits will now not be subject to that tax. This is without scrutinising also other ministers and their associated relationships who are holding property portfolios as well. Is this fortuitous timing or insider trading? Incidentally, that $1.3 million property is now worth under $1 million. Labor is no longer a party that champions the working class, but rather clearly protecting the political elites in the inner circle. In New South Wales Parliament right now, they are debating something that should be simple. Should an unborn child be killed simply because it is the wrong sex? In some cultures, the ones where boys are prized and daughters are devalued, sex selection abortion turns that prejudice into a death sentence. This bill does not ban abortion. It doesn't punish mothers. It targets one cruel practice: sex selection abortion. Critics are calling it a threat to women's healthcare. But the real question is this: why are they afraid to say baby girls deserve protection? In New South Wales, the law already says that discrimination after birth is wrong. It should be wrong before birth as well. Protect unborn girls. Stop sex selection abortion. Tell New South Wales Parliament, vote yes.